I'm in sweaty central Florida, learning about the culture of space travel and attempting to become the first real Englishman to be thrust into space. Before one penetrates the hallowed ground of NASA, which stands for National Association of Space Artists, or something like that, one should do proper research. In this case, that meant a visit to this sod field in the middle of nowhere to learn more about the science of rockets. Once a month, local brainiacs gather to sweat, compare stories, and thrust objects as far into the air as they possibly can.
Now, why do you do this?
I do it for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I've never flown a payload that had any scientific application in it whatsoever.
How did you come by this? Did you buy it from an arms dealer?
Well, I am a student of Space Academy of Space Florida at Kennedy Space Center.
Oh, right.
Yes.
So you're a rocket scientist?
Not yet.
Wannabe.
Not yet. Wannabe.
Right. What are you holding here?
Okay, this is one of the propellant loads for a rocket that I'm going to fly later on today.
It's a propellant load? What does that mean?
It's what you put in the rocket that makes it go.
Oh.
That little tube of chemicals that burns with the heat of at least 20 suns is known in Rocket Club speak as a motor. No, there are no moving parts, just a lump of fuel. I know, I was confused too.
These are rockets?
They're rockets. You can see a motor down here.
Yeah.
And this one has a parachute. His head pops open and a parachute comes out the top. And this one's works similar. There's a motor in the bottom, except the whole top of his head I'm not going to take it off right now because it's ready for flight. But the whole top of his head comes off and a parachute comes out.
Was this launch a failure or the secret test of a special ground-triggered parachute?
This particular engine here is made from fertilizer and sugar.
You made your own fuel?
Yes,
Out of fertilizer and sugar?
yes.
I've heard of a sugar rush, but this is ridiculous.
The motors that we put in this, really at best, and anything you'll see out flying out here, at best is only going to reach, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 feet. I'm sure you know, as to get out to space, you've got to get up to 50 to 60 miles up, which is considerably further.
The more time you spend in this sweaty field, the more obvious it becomes that most of these projectiles have a certain, well, similar appearance. Is it due to aerodynamics or a deeper, more subconscious connection between American rocket scientists and their explosive projectiles? We'll never know.
Some men go through midlife crisis and buy a sports car and stuff, and...
Well, I'll tell you what, there really isn't a whole lot better being in midlife, coming out on a Saturday afternoon and flying the biggest piece of phallic symbol you can find.
Or maybe we will. Regardless, the launch lust is infectious. So it was time this reporter got his hands around a flaming pole of power.
Just like NASA, we totally believe in having redundant systems so that if one fails, we've got a backup.
Unlike NASA, you're standing on a plastic chair to reach it.
That's right.
At last, it was time for the final countdown.
3, 2, 1.
It was over so fast, so here it is again, but this time from the rocket's viewpoint. I think I've proven my ability to grasp the intricacies of rocket flight. All you need is some sugar and fertilizer, a phallic-shaped tube, a button to push, and the ability to count backwards from 10.
2, 1.
Why do they even call it a science? I mean, really, is it that hard? Armed with this insight, it was time to present my credentials to the only organization with the cash, infrastructure, and solid rocket fuel to fulfill the spaceflight dreams I've harbored for several minutes. I enter NASA for a peek under the skirt of the US space program. Next.